The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. At that time, Jesus came to Jericho and intended to pass through the town. Now, a man there named Zacchaeus, who was a chief tax collector and also a wealthy man, was seeking to see who Jesus was. But he could not see him because of the crowd, for he was short in stature. So he ran ahead and climbed a sycamore tree in order to see Jesus, who was about to pass that way. When he reached the place, Jesus looked up and said, "Zacchaeus, come down quickly, for today I must stay at your house." And he came down quickly and received him with joy. And when they saw this, they began to grumble, saying, "He has gone to stay at the house of a sinner." But Zacchaeus stood there and said to the Lord, "Behold, half of my possessions, Lord, I shall give to the poor, and if I have extorted anything from anyone, I shall repay it 4 times over." And Jesus said to him, "Today salvation has come to this house, because this man too is a descendant of Abraham. For the Son of Man has come to seek and to save what was lost." The Gospel of the Lord. There is a saying that I remember from my earliest days. My mom used to use it to kind of tame me down sometimes. And that saying is, "Curiosity killed the cat." Well, in the gospel, we see curiosity saved Zacchaeus. It's interesting the way that this gospel passage is narrated is told that Zacchaeus only had a motivation of curiosity. He wanted to see Jesus. Who was this guy that they were talking about who was passing through town? But he wanted to do so from a safe vantage point. He didn't want to be seen. There may be a number of reasons why he didn't want to be seen, one of which was people didn't like him very much because he extorted them, he cheated them. And so there could have been an uprising against him. That, of course, would let Jesus be anonymous, but everybody would be against Zacchaeus. So he climbed the tree. He was short of stature. He climbed the tree, hoping to escape notice and just to see who Jesus was. But Jesus was not about to let him off the hook by climbing the tree. He stopped and did what Zacchaeus probably dreaded. "Oh, Zacchaeus up there." He noticed him. But then he says, "Come down, I want to stay at your house today." Now, what that meant was Jesus was taking upon himself the anger that the crowds would have given to Zacchaeus, directed to Zacchaeus. They got mad at him instead, and it becomes very obvious because people grumbled. "He's going to stay at Zacchaeus' house? What kind of a guy is this? What kind of a Messiah is this? What kind of a Son of God is this that he's going to stay at the house of a sinner who is the most unpopular man in town?" Ooh. But Jesus took that upon himself. It may have been that action, not only of seeking hospitality from Zacchaeus, but of actually taking that anger upon himself, that may have brought about Zacchaeus' conversion. Let's think about that. Jesus, in more ways than one, came to Zacchaeus' rescue. And Zacchaeus proved that he was willing to be rescued. Jesus drew him out of a state of sinfulness, not because Zacchaeus converted, but in order to bring about his conversion, in order to bring about his change. We, as I have often said, tend to want to do things the other way around. We want the other person to straighten out. Then maybe we'll forgive them. Then maybe we will reconcile with them. But they've got to straighten out first. Jesus' example shows, and I think shows us, that we need to look with love on the person with whom we are alienated. The person who may need our forgiveness but isn't even seeking it. We may have to take the initiative to do what Jesus did and say, I accept you. Let me share hospitality with you. That is what transforms us. That is what opens both the other person and ourselves to the working of God's grace. Reconciliation always has to be mutual. So perhaps we should think now about the people that we need reconciliation with, and maybe spend today praying that we may be able to move our hearts to seek the reconciliation that is so needed for both of us. I know there's a few people in my mind that are not here, but they are in my previous life that I think I need to pray, Lord, change my heart in their regard and show me what I must do.